Menopausal symptoms may be effective, but they aren't without risk of serious adverse events. Estrovera from Metagenics offers a safe approach and the strongest natural choice for menopause relief for women at any stage of menopause. Estrovera features a novel botanical extract known as ERR731 that has demonstrated efficacy for hot flash relief comparable to low-dose hormone therapies. This unique extract has been safely recommended for relieving a wide range of menopausal symptoms since 1933 in Europe and is available in the U.S. by Metagenics. Estrovera works so well for so many women that there's even a money-back guarantee. Ask your medical doctor, chiropractor, or nutritionist about Estrovera from Metagenics today. Or for more information, go to metagenics.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
It's KABC's new kid in town, author, lecturer, and nutritional supplement guru, Adam Harman. For the next hour, he'll be unleashing the power of natural medicine and conscious living. So listen up, America. It's the Adam Harman Show.
Ooh, so good to have you back. This is Adam Harman, and you're listening to the Adam Harman Show. We're LA's home for conscious living and natural medicine. You know, on today's show, we're going to have an amazing show. We're going to be talking about the business of spirituality. That's right, how to be able to be an enlightened entrepreneur and how to blend business with spirit. Today's guest has a lot of experience on this subject. For 27 years, Jeffrey Segal had a successful career as a lawyer in Los Angeles. But after 27 years, it was interrupted by a bout with cancer. After surgery and a natural healing program, he finally eliminated the cancer in 2008. It was at this time that Jeff opened up Mystic Journey Bookstore on Abbot Kinney in Venice, California. After 4 successful years, Mystic Journey moved to a larger location on Abbot Kinney in 2012. Mystic Journey Bookstore continues to provide service to the community from its new location, and Jeff then decided to expand Mystic Journey's offerings in July of 2017 when he opened Mystic Journey Crystal Gallery and Transformational Center at 1702 Lincoln Boulevard in Venice. The Crystal Gallery truly offers gigantic and amazing crystals and geodes, as well as a wide variety of classes, workshops, including sound baths, meditation, yoga, breath work. They've got it all there. Jeffrey Segal, welcome to the Adam Harman Show.
Well, thank you, Adam. Thank you for that nice introduction. Nice to speak with you. Thank you for having me on tonight.
Oh, my goodness. You know, the bottom line is that you have an amazing set of stores there. You've done a wonderful job, and I must admit it's one of my favorite places to hang out in the Los Angeles area. I have so many questions for you. I hope you're ready. Are you ready to answer questions, sir?
I would love to. I'm looking forward to it.
That sounds great. You know, you used to, I'm fascinated by this. You used to be a lawyer. Tell us how you got to where you are today, opening up 2 successful businesses servicing the Los Angeles spiritual community. Tell us a little bit about the story.
Well, as you said in the introduction, Adam, I was a practicing lawyer for 27 years. I actually worked at just one firm for the whole time.
Wow.
A rare feat, but it was a good place. But after, I don't know, about a decade or so, I started to become disenchanted with law, and like I think many people started feeling unfulfilled in the career path I had chosen. And I had been I started wanting to get out more and more. I got a real estate broker's license. I thought I was going to become a therapist. I tried all these things, but I couldn't get out. And then I kept sort of heading downhill. And then one day I remember thinking, wow, if I don't get out of this soon, I'm actually going to get sick. And sure enough, within a year, I gave myself cancer, and that's what I believe, that I brought this on myself to finally give myself that kick in the rear to move out of something that I didn't like. I mean, it's always easier to do it without having to take a swift kick, but this was the only thing that could actually move me. And so, as you said, I had surgery, and they thought they had eliminated the cancer. But at my first follow-up exam, they said, no, it's still there and you need to have chemo. And in that point, it just intuitively came over me that I didn't want to do that. It just didn't feel like the right thing to me. So I instead chose a course of I guess you can call it alternative healing or natural healing, where I put together a team of healers, an acupuncturist, an energy worker called a pranic healer. I had a body worker and a counselor. And it's funny, my best friend at the time was a doctor, and he was very against this. But I told him I was going to do this, and he said, "Let's make a deal. I'll give you 90 days, and let's see what happens with your natural healing." So I did this for this 90 days, and I had a follow-up test, and the abnormality they had found had shrunk 50%.
Oh my goodness!
And I said, "So my friend's name is Dave. Dave, what do you think now?" He's like, "Well, okay, well, I guess you bought another 90 days." And within the next 90 days after that, it had completely disappeared. And in that time, I started to think deeply, where am I going to go? This is my second chance at life.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Because this is it. If I went back to the law, I knew that, honestly, it would be the end. And so I dug deep and worked on what I think is the most difficult question for one to answer, which is what do I really want? What do I really want? This is my chance. And ultimately, I came down to what am I passionate about? That was sort of at the core of my decision. And at my passion really was my spirituality, and that's what led me into the spiritual realm and to ultimately open Mystic Journey Bookstore.
Wow, what a great story. You know something, I have been in alternative medicine and lecturing to practitioners in groups of 50 to 1,000 practitioners at a time on the subject of functional medicine, and it literally thrills me every single time I hear amazing, inspirational stories like yours. It really is an amazing thing, and thank you for sharing that with our audience. Also, you know, in the past, there's this question, and the whole subject of the show is blending business with spirituality. And in the past, providing spiritual services were often associated with things like vows of poverty, like Mother Teresa. How do you view financial success as a business leader in the spiritual community? I'm
all for financial success. Look, I believe money is a good thing. Mm-hmm. And I believe, I certainly believe there's plenty to go around. I mean, abundance is everywhere, and I am as entitled to being financially abundant as anybody else. And I really believe that as one becomes more and more financially abundant, they begin to share the financial abundance with others, and the belief in the financial abundance. I think, particularly in the spiritual community, that sometimes there's a stigma about having a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a stigma, and it really doesn't need to be there. And with that abundance, I mean, it frees one up to do many things that they wouldn't otherwise do. And I think really, I mean, look, I don't believe that money buys happiness. That isn't the case. But having financial abundance certainly makes life easier and allows you to do things that can bring joy. It's how one interacts with the money. It's just it's all energy, right? And so money is energy, and your interaction with that, if it's a positive interaction, then it's good. And again, I believe that abundance that comes in monetarily becomes abundance in other things, and then one shares that with others. And isn't that what the spiritual work is all about? Sharing and being of service.
Most definitely. You know, Jeff, the bottom line is we've known each other for a little while there. I visit the store a lot. I've had both my book signings there. I have literally been enlightened and brought to light by my time sitting there and reading the books and talking to your people and talking to others right there. It is a place of abundance. And I personally, on the air, would like to thank you for always making this a home for the spiritual seekers. I see so many people who come in and really they enjoy your space. Thank you.
Well, thank you. That's very kind, Adam. I mean, we opened when I opened in it was October of 2008, which was actually the month of the crash, and that certainly wasn't the plan, but maybe it was the divine plan, because I mean, really, my feeling in opening the store, one of the things I learned in my spiritual training, my spiritual learning is that the greatest height one can reach is to be of service. And really, in opening in the moment of the crash, that was being of the greatest service possible. That was when people needed, a store like ours more than ever. And in our part of Los Angeles, in the West Side, at that time in 2008, there was really no store like Mystic Journey Bookstore providing what we do.
My goodness gracious. And then, after having this great store with all these great offerings, and we'll get into that later, because I think that describing this and getting into that and telling people what they'll find there is so worth getting into. After that, you decided to be able to open up another store past that. What made you move forward with that one?
Well, this is, I really believe that if one is in alignment with one's life purpose, then things unfold naturally. And so I actually was not looking to open another store, but my landlord on Abbot Kinney came to me and said, I have this amazing space for you. And you had talked to me about having larger crystals. And in fact, I wasn't thinking of opening another store, but I was thinking in my mind, God, I'd love to have larger crystals. And the bookstore on Abbot Kinney wasn't big enough for that. And it's just like, boom, life just presented this to me, and then I took the leap.
Jeff, it just goes to show you that you do the right thing and good things come to you. Right now, we're going to be heading into a news break, so don't touch that dial. We'll be back with more of Jeffrey Segal and our conversation on blending business and spirituality. Hang in there.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I shopped the many highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $27 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-445-6363. That's 800-445-6363. 800-445-6363. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Attention shoppers, clean up on aisle 14. Clean up on aisle 14. Someone dropped a jar of pickles. Pickles. Kosher pickles.
Beatboxing at a big box store. Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
A red minivan has the lights on in the parking lot.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Geico.
O'Reilly. Defend your vehicle from harmful elements and restore shine with Armor All canister wipes. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up Armor All canister wipes for $3.99. Easily remove dirt, dust, and grime with Armor All canister wipes on sale for $3.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here's a little piece of information.
Coming up on the next drive home, we'll tell you if Chick-fil-A wasn't the only place shut down, maybe the government too.
And what about the movie crew who tried to get through the airport with a fake bomb?
Oh, wow. Right after Dr. Drew, Midday Live, right here on Talk Radio 790 KABC.
We are back. We're back, and you're listening to The Adam Harman Show on Talk Radio 790 AM KABC. We're here again with Jeff Segal, owner of the Mystic Journey store in Venice, California, and we're talking about blending business and spirituality. If you'd like to become part of the conversation and ask our guest a question, just give us a call at 1-800-222-KABC. That's 1-800-222-5222. Jeff, thanks for sticking in and staying with us here.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a pleasure talking with you.
There you go. So many talented professionals in the intuitive healing and spiritual arts really lack the skills to yield financial abundance for their gifts. I hear so many stories about a Reiki healer that is just making ends meet, or a tarot card reader that is filling in at parties and so on and so forth. Do you have some advice for them? You've done really well in the spiritual field and really embraced abundance. Do you have any thoughts about courses, further education, networking? You got some ideas?
I guess my primary suggestion would be there actually are a number of books, and actually one of our best-selling sections in the bookstore deals with the area of what we call universal law, or the law of attraction. And there is a lot of valuable and reliable information out there. And I have to tell you, I certainly, in creating both Mystic Journey Bookstore and the Mystic Journey Crystal Gallery and Transformational Center, I give a lot of that credit to what I've learned from various reading sources about manifestation and how to manifest. And so I would suggest delving into those books, and any type of, if you have a spiritual order that, maybe providing some of these teachings, whether they're from mystery schools or other places, I think this is a place where one can really start, because there are techniques that can be used to help manifest what one wants.
That is wonderful. Also, if you were an individual right now and you were a psychic healer, are there any sort of business courses, or there's any further education, things that you think would be worthwhile for people to learn about business per se?
It's interesting you asked that question. I was a lawyer. I had no experience in the retail business, and didn't go to business school. I just followed my intuition, and I think people need to have some basic math skills. I think it's important to write a business plan, and really to follow one's heart, and to trust. I know that sounds not very specific and not necessarily too practical, but certainly you have to have some funding to get yourself going. But just laying it out there and having no doubts about what you're doing and putting everything to it. Hard work, baby. There's no substitute.
99% perspiration. You know something, and folks, I would listen to Jeff on this one, because he's got some really successful businesses. He's done great things for the spiritual community in Venice and throughout Los Angeles. So I think you're really on point there. For our listeners who haven't yet had the pleasure of visiting your two locations of Mystic Journey, can you tell them about what they should expect when they visit?
Yes, at Mystic Journey Bookstore in Abbot Kinney, we have books of all types. We certainly deal with all spiritual traditions and traditional religions. We also have books on tarot and philosophy. We even have a children's section. We have books on aliens and mystery schools. But we also have a wide variety of other products. We have things like tarot cards and incense, and we also have hundreds of crystals from all over the world that are really our most popular item. We also have workshops there, and we have psychic readers, intuitive readers. We have numerologists and astrologers who are always on site with us, and who are a big part of that store. And at the Crystal Gallery and Transformational Center, we have, as you were saying, large geodes. People walk in, the line always that I hear is, "Oh my God, I've never seen anything like this." So we have that, and then in the center we have a studio where we have a variety of yoga classes and meditation classes. We have, as you said, sound baths, and a whole variety of workshops that go on daily.
Wow, that is great. It's really interesting, because I left New York City because I felt, the people in New York weren't necessarily my peeps, as one might say. And they couldn't understand a person who was thinking outside the box. When I walked into Mystic Journey, I walked into the front door, and all of a sudden I got this feeling about me that I was home. That sort of feeling that Harry Potter had when he first walked into Hogwarts. It was like, wow, I am home. I took a right, and I went over to the tarot card section. By that time, I had 52 decks of tarot cards. 52. I collect them. But I went there and I said, oh my God, there's all these cards I don't even have. And then I looked at all the crystals and the pendulums, and then I even saw like a wrist piece, which was actually, I believe, the astrological chart of the Dalai Lama. It was this amazing bronze wrist piece. Absolutely amazing there. Then I walked towards the back, past the sages, past all the statues, and then all of a sudden I saw these singing bowls. And for the first time in my life, I said, I'm going to jump in. So I started playing these singing bowls, and it felt like so natural for me. The bottom line on the whole thing is the store that you offer there is really, really wonderful. And I have looked forward for a long time to be highly promoted of the store because I consider it my second home. It's really, really a wonderful place.
Well, thank you, Adam. And one thing that I would say, and this goes to some of the other questions you asked, is I can say now I really love what I do, and I love my stores, and I really, all of our crystals, other than little tumble stones, I really pick out every crystal one at a time. All of the products in the store I select personally, and so I am. It's like my child, and I give it that tender, loving care that I would give a child, and I care about it, and I care about the community that comes in, and it's very wonderful to hear what you have to say and others have said to me. It's a beautiful thing.
I remember one time you came into that store, and I was sitting in back having a great conversation with somebody. It's an amazing place to have these intense conversations and have books there. I mean, it gathers such amazing people there. I actually met Teal Swan there the other day, and Teal's going to be on the show on March 3rd. And the bottom line on the thing is that you came running by, and you had just come from a trip from, I believe, Brazil, and you looked like a kid just went into a candy shop. You're like running around with your crystals, so happy. It was a great thing to watch.
It's a joy. Actually, I'm leaving on Monday to go to the largest gem show in the world.
Wow!
And I'll be there for a week, and then I'm planning my next trip to Brazil to bring back more stones. So yes, I live a blessed life.
Oh, my goodness. Isn't that a wonderful thing? You know something? I always tell people out there, I get to be able to get paid for my hobby. But, boy, you sound like you got it really good there, big guy. Hey, you've got really great psychic readers there. I have literally gone to every single one of them. I've got some favorites. And let me tell you something. I've been around. I've seen a lot of psychic readers in the Southern California area. You got some of the most talented psychic readers in California providing sessions at your store. How do you gather such a group, and how do you vet these individuals when they come in and say, I'm a great psychic reader, you should have me? I mean, what's the process? What do you go through? Tell us some stories.
Well, what's interesting is that I don't look. I really have never looked for our readers. They come to us.
Yeah.
Almost even since we opened nearly 9 years ago, and we're actually now having readers at the gallery and studio because they're so popular, and they do so much for our clients. And in terms of vetting, I think was the word you used. I mean, they come in and we don't. Many of our readers have been with us more than 5 years, 7, 8 years, and so we don't necessarily look for readers too often. But when we do, we have resumes. These are people who all they really do is do their readings for people, and so they usually have websites and other a resume, and we go through an interview process and do a sample reading, and again, I mean, readings are about intuition, and so when I do these interviews, it's about my intuition, and I've been again very, very blessed and fortunate that the readers that we've brought on have almost to 100% been amazing.
My goodness. Actually, one of your readers has actually been on our show, and she spoke about, and she was one of our favorite shows, which was Orena, and she actually channeled angels and spoke about what the angels are saying about regular everyday events. She's actually going to be on our show about once a month, just talking about what the angels have to say about everyday events and current events, and you can get a reading from Orena and all of these other great readers at Mystic Journeys Bookstore at 1624 Abbot Kinney Boulevard. It has really been a great joy to be able to have you on the show, to be able to really go through all these things with you. I have so many questions we're going to ask you in the next segment. Are you going to stick with us through to the next segment there?
Of course, I'd love to.
That sounds great. Hey, and just to be able to tell you, Mystic Journeys has so many different free events as well. They've got book signings in the back from some of the top people. One of the people we're going to be having on actually next week is Eric Pearl. He actually came up with the book, The Reconnection, a bestseller out there, telling people how they can tap into their own inner power and heal people with their hands. I met him there and said, hey, you got to come on my show. And he was like, sure, let's do this. Met Teal Swan there. She's going to be coming on March 3rd. I also met Judith Orloff there, the best-selling author of the Empath Survival Guide. This place is absolutely amazing. I regularly, just sitting in the back, bump into so many different celebrities who just come in, and they're so cool. The guy who played Malfoy in Harry Potter, he actually came in, he sat down next to me, had this great conversation, got up, left, and someone came up and says, do you realize that's Malfoy? And I'm like, I didn't even know. Hey, some folks, stay with us right now. After this short break, we'll be back again with more of our conversations with Jeffrey Segal of Mystic Journey Bookstore and Gallery in Venice, California.
Talk Radio 790 KABC News. I'm James Stanley with this news update. Hundreds of thousands of people took to the streets in downtown Los Angeles and across the nation, for that matter, on Saturday as the second annual Women's March looked to convert anger at President Donald Trump's policies into victories in this year's midterm elections. Significantly less people, but still thousands, showed up for the One Life LA movement, described by organizers as a celebration of the beauty and dignity of every human life from conception to natural death, basically an anti-abortion protest. The LA Kings will conduct Law Enforcement Appreciation Night tomorrow night at the game against the New York Rangers at Staples Center, with a portion of the proceeds from a special ticket offer benefiting the LA Police Foundation. Fans buying tickets through the offer, which is available on the team's website, will also receive a free Kings outdoor first aid kit. You can hear the game here on 790 KABC. KABC SoCal weather. Overnight, 43 degrees, 65 or so for a daytime high on Sunday. It's 51 now in downtown LA. I'm James Stanley, 790 KABC News.
You've got skills, so why not make money with those skills? Can you mow a yard, clean a house, hang a flat-screen TV, haul off some junk? Well, check out Tackle.com. That's TAKL.com. Tackle is an amazing new app that connects people who can perform small jobs and chores with customers who need them done. And the Tackle app is coming to cities all across America soon. Go to Tackle.com to see where Tackle is launching next. Just complete the 6 easy steps to register, and you can be your own boss, set your own hours, and make great money as a Tackle provider. The Tackle app is revolutionizing the way people get things done. Go to Tackle.com today and sign up. Stop thinking about making money doing what you love and start doing it with Tackle. Sign up to be a Tackle provider now at Tackle.com. Tackle.com. That's TAKL.com.
Message and data rates may apply.
Guys, this may be the last time you ever have to think about hair loss. Because I'm telling you, Bosley is the real deal. They're giving men their hair back permanently. Their real hair. All it takes to get started on the hair gain train is a single text message. You'll get an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card when you text FUN to 85850. Check them out now. Bosley will show you for free how great your hair could look. Dude, this isn't your dad's hair loss treatment. People all over the country trust Bosley because they're America's #1 hair restoration expert, ahead of the curve with the latest technology. And the best part, Bosley's solution is permanent. You're going to love what they'll do for your hair. So drop what you're doing long enough to send a text. Get your free information kit and gift card for $250 off by texting FUN to 85850. Don't forget, that's FUN to 85850.
What's up, Doc?
Hey, this is Dr. Drew.
This is Lauren Sivan.
And on the next Midday Live, we will take your calls. And Lauren, will there have been a shutdown? Will it matter to us?
No.
You're laughing at me. Because it won't matter either way.
To you it will. Your Social Security check will be late.
Oh. Too soon.
Sorry.
Literally too soon. That and more on the next Midday Live. Talk Radio 790 KBC.
are back, and you're listening to The Adam Harman Show on Talk Radio, 790 AM, KABC. Hey, we're here again with Jeffrey Segal, owner of a Mystic Journey Bookstore and Gallery in Venice, California. Jeffrey, welcome back.
Thank you, Adam.
Hey, okay, I got a couple more questions for you. You ready?
You're ready.
Okay, bring them on. You also, you have some really great speakers and performances at both locations. Can you share about some upcoming events that you are really excited about? And then I'll tell you about the ones I'm excited about. But you go first.
Okay, great. Well, first, let me again say thank you for having me on, and I really appreciate it. And everybody can find all of the events that are going on at both of our locations on our website at mysticjourneyla.com. That's the best place, mysticjourneyla.com. And for events that are coming up, we are going to at the Transformational Center and Studio, which is where our gallery is as well. We have sound baths. We have a regular sound bath every Friday night at 8 o'clock with Dynasty Electric, which is fabulous and amazing. But we're also going to be having on February 7th Guy Douglas, who is one of the premier sound bath performers, really in the state, if not the country, starting to do a monthly sound bath at the studio. So I'm very excited about that. Then in March at the Transformational Center, John Gray, who's the author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus.
I love him. He's great.
Yeah, he is great, and he did. Last year, he did a weekend seminar for women, and coming up in March, he's going to be doing a whole weekend seminar for men. So I think that's going to be very exciting to have him back. And at the bookstore, I wanted to say that at the bookstore, we're coming to that time in February where the Conscious Life Expo at the Los Angeles Hilton is taking place, and we're the bookstore for that event. And so that really in the coming month, that's really where our focus is, because there are a lot of top authors and speakers in all sorts of fields. Carolyn Meese, I believe, is the headliner for that. Right. And we may be having her over at the bookstore afterwards. So those are really where our focus is right now.
That's absolutely great. I have to talk personally about Dynasty Electric and their sound bath. Oh, my goodness. I've been to a lot of sound baths. I mean, I've been to some of the best in Southern California. The difference between most of the ones I've gone to and Dynasty Electric is the difference between someone putting on a play in their backyard and Cirque du Soleil, all right? This is great. Literally speaking, we laid down on the floor. I didn't know what to expect. They had all of this machinery, this sound-making machinery. They had an amazing array of bowls and gongs. And then Jenny Electric, who, by the way, is an old rock and roll recording star in New York City. She had her own records and so on. She starts singing. And then there's sounds and recordings of animals. I felt like I was in some sort of National Geographic singing bowl event. It was amazing. So yeah. I highly recommend her work as well.
Yeah, I did the Dynasty Electric sound bath as well. And the amazing thing for me was when it was over and I came out of it and I opened my eyes, I actually realized like I was somewhere else. I was like in a different state of existence. It was amazing.
Oh, my goodness gracious. And you know something? The sheer energy that comes out of that place, literally those crystals are massive. I've seen individuals who say, I'm not that into crystals. I went there for yoga, or I went there for Qigong, or I went there for some sort of a seminar. But when they go there, they say, I felt those crystals, these massive, beautiful, juicy amethysts just standing there. You look at them and you go, how did you get a crystal that big through the door? Utterly amazing.
These crystals are they're taller than me. Some of them are over 6 feet tall, and they're awe-inspiring, and you can actually feel the energy coming off them.
Well, I want to make sure, because I want to get people to both these stores, as many people as possible who really want to have an experience in their life, because I love these stores. Once again, I consider them my second home. They're really, really great. The store on Lincoln Boulevard is 1702 Lincoln Boulevard. That's the Transformational Center, right?
Yes, in the Crystal Gallery, yes.
Crystal Gallery. And the one on Abbott Kinney in Venice is 1624. Is that correct?
That's right.
All righty. And what are your hours there, like, so people don't just show up and go, hey, you're closed, dude. What's up?
Yeah, no. We're at the bookstore. We have long hours. We're open from 11 to 9 every day except on Saturday. On Friday and Saturday we're actually open from 10 to 11 at night.
Whoa, that's
so we're
quite a
there
day.
all the time. And at the Transformational Center in Crystal Gallery, we're there from 11 to, depending on the day, really 9 o'clock at night.
Oh my goodness! And there are so many events and so many providers in both of these spaces. I've literally had I've walked out of many of the psychic readings because I like to sample this stuff. It's fun. It's especially fun when you got people that really know what they're doing and who are very talented. But I've walked out of so many of those different readers literally in shock. I'm like, how in goodness gracious did you know that? So these are really, really good folks. And I'd like to thank you for all the hard work you're doing. I'd like to get a little bit of insight from you, though. I mean, over the years, you must have had some pretty deep conversations with many visionaries in the field of consciousness. I know that you've had Greg Braden there, so many others. So from your perspective, and I'd like you to sort of get up on this soapbox and give us what you got here. From your perspective, what 3 things can people do to be the change for a more conscious world?
Well, let me say it's a great question because we need more of that. That's in these times we really need more of people doing what they can to be the change. And I said this at the beginning when I was thinking about what do I really want. It came down to what is my passion. And I think that my first answer to your question is people need to think about what they're really passionate about and then go live it. Because then what happens is that you start, as I said, you start doing something that you love. And then that love starts to build, and people feel the love. They feel that you love what you're doing, and then they love that. And then they have more love, and then they share more love. And so I really think that digging into what one's passion is and pursuing that is absolutely critical. The second thing I would say is that, and I really believe this in my core, everyone knows what right from wrong. I mean, it's really not hard in any situation that comes up. There, people know what is the right thing to do. What is the thing that really is that feels appropriate in the circumstance. And I always believe that we have to follow our heart and do the right thing. I mean, it may not be the best thing, but it's the right thing. And so I think that living in that space will create just a better world for everyone. And the last thing, which is somewhat similar to the second thing, is that I think everybody needs to work to live in their integrity. I think for me, my integrity is the most important thing. And by the word integrity, what I mean is really twofold, or maybe it's the same thing in two different ways. I mean, really, it's being honest. It's always telling the truth. And living in that truth. Again, one knows when it's true and it's not true. And so I believe that keeping in that truth, and really with that, keeping one's word. I mean, if you give your word to somebody or even to yourself, keeping that word is just the stanchion, the foundation for creating a stable and beautiful and loving life.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for that. I really want to thank you for that. And I just, once again, want to be able to point out that this store is just a great place for people to go to. I hang out there a lot. Love to see you there. I'm the crazy guy with the bald head and the sunglasses half the time. And both my books are there, for, Seeing the Angel in the Mirror and also the Official Wizard's Training Manual. I've actually done a couple of book signings there. Literally speaking, if you're looking right now for some magic in your life, if you're looking right now for something that's bigger than yourself, then you need to start surrounding yourself with people who regularly see that vision, people who see that perspective. It's so important to surround yourself with the individuals that you aspire to be. Important to go to places like Mystic Journey Bookstore and listen to these amazing authors. This is free. You go there for a book signing, it's free. By the end, you'll be dying to be able to get these books because they're amazing. really being this better self is so, so important. And when it comes down to places like Mystic Journey Bookstore, which are, and I'm sort of shocked to say this, few and far between of this quality. It's important to be able to embrace them, to be able to support them, because in essence, I mean, people like Jeff Segal could be a lawyer or a hedge fund trader or whatever, but the bottom line is there are people out there saying, no, I do not want to just make money. I do not want to just stand there and get into this corporate grind. I want to get out there. And for every person who's out there and who is seeking this higher place, there are people like Jeff Segal and places like Mystic Journeys to be able to go to. Jeff, thank you so much for being our guest today on The Adam Harman Show. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Segal from Mystic Journeys. Let's give him a little bit of an applause here.
Thank you, Adam. It's been a pleasure. Have a lovely night.
All right, folks, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to have a magical and mystical guest here on The Adam Harman Show.
Hello, I'd like to deposit this to checking.
Fate is a fickle master. What? The future is uncertain.
Okay, and what's my account balance?
The horizon is cloudy. I see a long, treacherous voyage filled with great peril.
Look, can I just get a deposit slip or something?
A fortune bank teller. Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
I see a yellow-eyed serpent and a low APR.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
I met someone. You hear it a lot from people on Match, because more people have met their someone on Match than any other dating app. Everyone wants to find that meaningful connection, and Match is not only #1 in first, but second dates too. Now here's a free offer for our listeners. Go to Match.com/view for 7 days free. That's 7 days completely free to search, view photos, and connect. This free offer is found at Match.com/view. That's Match.com/view. Match.com/view.
They say, want a new wireless plan? Gotta buy a new phone. At Simple Mobile, we say, just bring your own phone. Then pop in a Simple Mobile SIM card and boom, you've got 30-day unlimited plans starting at just $25 with nationwide coverage on a lightning-fast 4G LTE network, all with no contract. You can keep it complicated, or you can mobile simple with Simple Mobile.
Available nationwide at Best Buy, Simple Mobile dealers, and authorized retailers. See the latest terms and conditions of service at simplemobile.com.
As a small business owner, you make every dollar count. So what could you do with $10? Go to Vistaprint.com today and you'll get 500 high-quality custom business cards for only $9.99. That's less than 2 cents per card. And at Vistaprint, your satisfaction is absolutely guaranteed. So it's never been easier to turn 500 strangers into connections. Just visit Vistaprint.com and use promo code 2000 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 2000.
Cars, trucks, motorcycles. If it's got a motor, we've got your man. If there was ever a time you needed an automotive expert like Leon Kaplan at your side, it's now. The Motor Man. Sunday mornings at 8 on Talk Radio 790 KABC.
Ooh, I love that sound. We are back, and you're listening to The Adam Harman Show on 790 AM Talk Radio KABC. What's going on in the studio? Jose, is it that time again?
Yes, Adam. It is that time.
It is that time. Well, then it's time for
the fabulous Dovey Leroy, Cosmic Astrologer.
Oh, Cosmic Astrologer.
Ooh,
can you give us some fabulous insights for this audience that waits so impatiently for your wondrous wisdom?
Of course.
Take it away.
Yes, on January 24th, we have Mercury conjuncting Pluto in Capricorn. And everyone's deep unconscious comes up in thought and conversation. And this can be useful because you can receive moments of discovery. It's not necessarily, though, discovering something new, but what's been there all along.
Aha.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of opening up your eyes to the reality that stands before you.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the unconscious is able to come through and project itself. And Since it's coming from such a foreign place, which would be the unconscious, thoughts and conversations may seem on the heavier side, and they may seem a tad bit more difficult.
Ooh.
Yes.
It's rough bringing up those points, eh?
Exactly. It's like, where are these coming from?
It's like you're asking the question. You're saying, honey, I love you, and this is hard for me to say, but... Yeah, go ahead.
But when you focus on what you truly want, your experience of the world around you aligns with your intention and your belief to carry you through difficult adjustments. And this is excellent because if you take advantage of the ability to tap into unconscious energy, then you can release it from your thoughts and express it.
Oh, my goodness. This sounds like Jungian psychology taking off.
Yeah, and what's beautiful is that your unconscious makes sense to you. And anything that comes up, I definitely recommend writing it down and creating with it.
Get yourself a journal.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, I have like 10.
You're like the journal maniac here. There we go.
I got like 2 right next to me. And with that, we do move into Jupiter in Scorpio.
What does that mean? That sounds sort of painful. What are we talking about here?
Well, actually, there's a sextile in there.
There's a sextile.
That might actually not be that painful.
There we go.
But
what tile? I thought this was like Italian tile or something. There's
reptiles?
No. Reptiles? Okay. What's with this sextile?
It's sextiling Mercury in Capricorn. And that's on the 25th. So that's the next day.
Ooh, yeah.
And if you transfer the essence and from the previous alignment and allow that to go into this one, you can easily expand, the deep expressions and release them out into the world. So write out your ideas, put together a schedule, stick to your goals, plan, and decide how you want to allow your creations and thoughts to travel.
How wonderful. This sounds like a really good thing.
Yeah.
So we're not like doing Mercury retrograde and you should like hide under a couch or anything like
don't hide under a rock. Don't stop using your phone. You know.
I don't understand when people say they hide under a rock. That must be really painful.
It's like Patrick the Star. You just got to flatten out.
You got to flatten out. All right.
And from that, we have Mars entering Sagittarius on January 26th. Once again, the next day, another alignment.
Mars entering Sagittarius. Isn't Mars like a warring planet?
Mars is the god of war, and it is all about action. It's like, I'm doing this now, nothing get in my way, or I'm going to get annoyed.
Oh my God. And Sagittarius is like big. It's like,
yes, expansion. It's all about broad-mindedness, adventure, travel. Fun stuff.
Thank God I'm a Sagittarius.
Right?
That one's working for me.
You're fun.
Oh, I'm so fun.
Yep.
Well, tell us a little bit more about this Mars entering Sagittarius. What does that mean?
So this transit is when we look past limitations and realize the vast possibilities available to us. We will really have access to be able to push ahead. And we have... we're going to be moving towards what feeds us. And that's what we truly desire and want in our current life. So this flow is so lovely with the previous 2 alignments because now you can pick out what ideas are do's or don'ts. Yeah, and this alignment can be very action-packed because, like we said, it is Mars. And with that force of will kind of drive, you'll be feeling yourself reaching and pushing towards whatever possibilities are out there.
Wow, this sounds like a wishing well moment. Oh my goodness. W. Leroy, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
How can people reach out to you and get themselves their astrology read by the fabulous W. Leroy?
You can contact me through wleroyastrology.com.
That's excellent. Make sure you do it, folks. Well, we are now on this part of the show, which is called the Be the Change moment. Once a wise man said, if you want change in the world, then you have to first be the change that you want to see in the world. And today we talked about a spiritual approach to building financial abundance as an expression of your own angelic mission on this planet, as one might say. But what is your mission? What do you want to get accomplished in this life? What do you want to be remembered for? These are really big and important questions that you've probably asked yourself before. But if you're still looking for answers to the big question of why I'm here, well, then listen up. Here's some thoughts. The answer to this age-old question might be hidden in something called an eternal identity. That's interesting. It's the real you that never changes from one situation to another. It's your personal and authentic brand, almost like a company brand, but it's a personal brand. When you truly know it, you can embrace your strengths with wisdom and your weaknesses as opportunities with courage and confidence. The identity is eternal because it also contains a DNA or a blueprint of your soul's life purpose. All of your strengths, weaknesses, likes, and dislikes were given to you as tools to experience and complete your mission on this planet. Everything you need has already been given to you to recognize, experience, and complete your life's purpose. But for most people, there's one glitch that's making it not happen or really not flow for them. And that's their lack of what's known as self-realization. Truly understanding the heights of your greatness and owning your untapped opportunities for growth and improvement. Embracing and owning your eternal identity is the key to answering the question, why am I here? But still people have problems properly assessing their strengths because we're taught that humility is the way to go. We're taught that humility should be there to downplay our greatness, and we're afraid of confessing our flaws for fear of being seen as weak. But here's one way that might help you overcome that. There's a great technique for getting a more accurate assessment of your strengths and opportunities. It's in my first book called Seeing the Angel in the Mirror. In the book, I asked 10 people in my life who were more than just acquaintances to each write 10 separate words on one piece of paper that best described me. Well, I made sure I got answers from them that were honest, and I did that by telling them not to write down their name on the paper and to mail it to me with my address as the return address as well. When I received these envelopes and reviewed the descriptions of me, I recognized a few things. This was interesting. First of all, it was quite evident that people who knew me had a much higher opinion of me than I had of myself. This, I found, was a pretty common thing because, once again, we're taught that excessive humility is actually a virtue. Secondly, I had strengths, skills, and qualities that I was unaware of or had taken for granted. Basically speaking, many of my strengths, skills, and qualities were like resources that I had forgotten or was just not taking advantage of. And lastly, my areas of improvement were actually fewer and less challenging than I would have thought. This whole thing was very refreshing. It felt like I came out of an IRS audit and they discovered that the government actually owed me money. But there was still one more problem with me owning up to my true eternal identity. And that was the fact that I just couldn't buy it. After years of being told that ego was bad by my dad, who was a big promoter of Buddhism, or at least his version of it, and heaping on humility in supersized portions was the path to enlightenment, I couldn't even conceive the qualities that others saw in me. But I still wanted to experience that quote-unquote awesome person that others saw me as. So here's what I did, and it's all in the book. I created my own personal superhero, and I called him Jeffrey Tyler, named after my autistic son. This amazing character had all the strengths, qualities, and skills that people saw in me. Then, after I wrote them down in a full description of Jeffrey Tyler, it took me a page long, I asked myself, what are 3 of the most pressing challenges in my life right now? Then I wrote those down on a second piece of paper. And then, you ever see when people ask themselves, what would Jesus do? In knowing all of his amazing abilities, I asked myself, what would Jeffrey Tyler do to overcome these challenges? Then I focused on the challenges one at a time, writing pages and pages of strategy to meet each one of the challenges, as if I'm getting insights from this amazing person, Jeffrey Tyler. Then I followed those strategies, and within 3 weeks, just 3 weeks, I had overcome all 3 of those challenges, one of which had been plaguing me for years. The bottom line is, I did this by becoming Jeffrey Tyler, my true and eternal identity. In the process of truly being my eternal identity, well, I actually found my life's purpose. It became crystal clear. I am here to spread the word of natural medicine and conscious living to a larger audience. That's why I'm talking to you today from my own radio show on 790 AM KBC in Los Angeles. And that's why I wrote and published the book, Seeing the Angel in the Mirror. It's been a wonderful ride. If you'd like to order the book, Seeing the Angel in the Mirror. You can get it on Amazon.com, or you can purchase it on our website, theadamharmanshow.com. It's just $11.11. We're not getting rich, but we are enriching the hearts and minds of our listeners. Well, that's Seeing the Angel in the Mirror. Make sure you check it out. Well, once again, it's time to wrap up things here on the show. And thank you so much for being here. Make sure that you'll like us and subscribe to The Adam Harman Show on Facebook and YouTube for great posts and live streaming. Tune in next Saturday night show when we have Dr. Eric Pearl, who's the author of The Reconnection. He's going to have a great show on showing you how to tap this amazing power within inside yourself. That's Saturday night at 9 p.m. Well, until next time, all of us here at The Adam Harman Show would like to thank you for listening, and we hope you have an amazingly abundant and conscious week.
This show